Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another 2028 election prediction. This time we have Chris Murphy, the senator from Connecticut, up against Vice President J.D. Vance. So, Chris Murphy, he frequently advocates that the Democrats should become a left wing populist party. They should lean on those types of messaging and they should lean on those types of policies in the future. So I think he actually has what it takes to win based on that messaging. So as long as he just focuses on that, that'd be enough to win. Other than that, he's really just a standard Democrat, but I would say he's definitely better than the standard Democrat just because he knows that that's what the Democrats have to do in order to win. So let me just finish saying up the safe blue and safe red states. Okay, starting off, Florida is just safe red. Texas is just safe red. Chris Murphy is very anti-gun, so that'll hurt him in the state of Texas. Florida's just been trending to the right for a long while now, and I don't really see it being competitive for the Democrats. The state's just been shifting away from them for a lot of election cycles now, and I don't think Chris Murphy being pretty liberal in some issues is going to be enough to really shift it. And even though he's going to be populist in some issues, it's probably not enough. Florida's just kind of gone for the Democrats at this point. The likely blue states: New Mexico, Virginia, Minnesota, Nebraska second, New Jersey, Maine. Maine really doesn't change that much. And I would say New Hampshire as well. I think he definitely would do better than Harris did in this state. He would win it at least by 5 points. He has the right policies that he favors to really win over New Hampshire, and I think he'd do better with independent voters. He would have better messaging, which helps contribute to him having a bigger win here. In the state of Ohio, this is Vance's home state, and I don't really think Chris Murphy will be able to make it a likely Republican state, so I think Vance wins it by about 10 points. Same with Iowa. I would also put this as R plus 10. Okay, now let's get to the next few states. Starting off with states of Nevada and Arizona, I would still give Arizona to J.D. Vance. It's the most Republican state out of the 7 swing states. Nevada, I think that Chris Murphy could shift it a bit more towards the Democrats, but I would still be a bit hesitant about giving it to them. But I think he'd be able to pull it off, especially if he gets those independents to come over to the Democratic side. I think he'd be able to win, but it'd be very close. It would only be a tilt blue state. Going over to Georgia and North Carolina, I think North Carolina would also be a red state. I don't really see Chris Murphy turning out a lot of black voters in this state, and you really need good black turnout to win here. So, yeah, I would put this as lean Republican. Georgia, I think I would narrowly give this state to J.D. Vance. Again, it's the same reasoning for North Carolina. I don't think he would be able to inspire a high black voter turnout, even though he would do decent with independents. I think that matters a lot, turnout in Georgia. Plus, I don't think he's going to pick a VP from this state either, because it's most likely Georgia's going to have a Republican governor in 2028. And if a senator like John Ossoff or Raphael Warnock is selected for VP, then the Georgia Republican governor gets to pick who replaces them, and I think that'll be unlikely to happen. So I don't think that Chris Murphy would pick Warnock or Ossoff because it jeopardizes a Senate seat in a closely divided Senate. And then we come down to the 3 swing states here. J.D. Vance just needs to win one of them to win the election. Starting off with Michigan, I think it's one of the easier states for the Democrats to win back. I think Chris Murphy would definitely shift on a lot of issues. He's shifting against Israel, which would probably help him with Arab voters in Michigan, so Democrats be able to get better margins with them again. In Wisconsin, it's going to be a pretty close state like it always is, so I'd put this as a tilt blue state. And then we come over to Pennsylvania, and I do think Chris Murphy will be able to win Pennsylvania by about 1.5 points against J.D. Vance. Vance doesn't have a good approval rating anymore. It's -6 now in most polls. So with that unfavorability rating, it's definitely going to hurt him in a state like Pennsylvania. With Chris Murphy, definitely going to shift towards focusing on left wing populism. That would probably help him out greatly in Pennsylvania. So I would put this state as about a 1.5 point win, same as Michigan. So there's 3 tilt states in this map. I think Chris Murphy wins a popular vote by 2.5%. Again, well, actually, I would say 2% against J.D. Vance. It was 2.5% that Georgia would go tilt blue. But yeah, I do think Chris Murphy would be able to win the election against J.D. Vance if he were the nominee. Other than that, if you enjoyed content like this, you should definitely consider subscribing to the channel. I'd appreciate it a lot. Other than that, I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.